How was it making your Rumble return in 2009?
Oh, that was great, man. That was great. It really was. Because nobody expected it, including me. Yeah, what nice. It was a great pop. It really was, and uh, of course, and then they put me over. I went down there, and everybody was taking bumps for me, binging the bang the boom, and I think the Big Show put me out. And I joke, yeah, he tossed me. But when I went back through the curtain, Vince McMahon was there, and he said, "Jim, come here." He says, "That was a hell of a sign of respect out there. The kids showed you." And I said, "Yeah, I appreciate that. The kids, everybody really put me over, even the top guys."
It was a hell of a moment. And then not long after, Jim, you were kind of back on a sort of full-time basis with WWE,
Yeah, I was
right?
back under contract. Yeah, like I said, WWF was my heyday, but I was under a talent contract with WWE. Then they put me with Super Crazy for a while.
Yeah,
I had a good time with Super Crazy until he was kayfabing me on speaking English. I caught him on the plane
really.
where they were handing out sandwiches, and the lady went by without a sandwich. He didn't give Crazy a sandwich. He's like, "Hey, a sandwich," and I'm like, "Ah!" Yeah, you speak English, Super Crazy.
Why was he kayfabing you?
I don't know. It was just a period of a couple of days, just kind
Oh,
of
okay.
ripping. And then they put me with Eugene for a while. They tagged me up with Eugene. And then they flirted with, I wish they had run with it. I don't know why they didn't. They did a deal where DiBiase's kid and Dusty, Cody, went to the ring and were cutting a promo about the old timers. And me and Lawler came out. And then
Yes.
they kind of tested that waters, but they didn't run with it.
Yeah, I wonder because I remember that angle, and they were like really insulting you guys and stuff. And I think at first you were like very dejected, but then you were ready to fight them. And then yeah,
And, oh,
nothing
yeah.
really
Well,
came of it.
even towards the end, I mean, that playing a part on television. The last time they brought me in, Rusev broke my 2x4. I'm like,
That's
give me
right.
my give me my check.
I guess you.
I mean, I'm not worried about my legacy in wrestling or nothing like that. Not many how win losses I've had. So how well I've provided for my family. That's my formula for success. People say, "Well, you weren't the most successful wrestler in the business." I think no. I think I'm one of the more successful wrestlers in the business. I'm still around. I
Yep.
live a normal life. I do a lot of charity work. I put two daughters through college. I never had to go to rehab for booze or drugs. It's been a good life for me.
Not to mention, like in my mind, I think if you're gainfully employed in professional wrestling for more than 10 years, like man, you've had a hell of a career in pro wrestling, and you were
Oh
in it
yeah, and
for a
like I said, I invested in a pair of boots and trunks.
yeah.
And because I never was. That was it. There's nothing fancy, Dan, about Hacksaw Jim Duggan. Just a 2x4 and the flag of the United States of America. Oh, I'm fired up now, honey. Hang on, here I go, brother.
Hey, you got me ready to go shake my
He's still,
flag
yeah, you
outside.
kidding? And that's why they come up with these gimmicks. I'm like, just put me in there with somebody anti-American.
Easy as
We'll have
that.
the place chanting USA, especially back in the day.
You know,
God, it wasn't rocket science.
a little bit earlier, Jim, you mentioned Dolph Ziggler and how you saw like the main event potential in him, and what we were just talking about reminded me. Dolph Ziggler was released from WWE here recently after 17 years with the company, and a lot of people were like, "Oh, well, he never quite reached his maximum potential." And I'm like, he was with the company for 17 years. Like that is
17 years. Are you kidding? One of the more successful guys that was like God, Steve Lombardi.
yes.
Yeah, everybody bust Lombardi's chops. I got along okay with Steve, but he hung around hard to stick around. There's only so many spots in wrestling, and a lot of people want those spots.
And
And
it
for you
seems
to
like
have one and hang on for that long, yeah. And
and
I
it seems
like Dolph's a good guy, yeah.
it
And
seems
I
like Steve
wrestled
had
Dolph.
the
I
oh,
actually
that's right.
wrestled Dolph. Yeah, he was
When
in the Spirit Squad.
oh, that's right. That's
Yeah.
right. I was like, I feel like I remember you two being in the ring, but what were the circumstances?
Yeah,
That
it was
was
the
it.
Spirit Squad, and I think it was me and Super Crazy. Maybe I don't know what the exact deal was, but we were in there with the Spirit Squad because I got along with I can't think of the young guy, the shorter one of the guys,
Oh God, is that
Mickey,
Mikey? Mikey or
Mikey,
Mickey?
yeah,
Yeah.
Mikey, good guy. Actually, they all stayed at my house, and I joke. I said, Mikey tried to push Deborah down the stairs.
They
I
are
wonder what
heels.
the hell they were doing upstairs in the first place. No, we joke about it, but he took like a little bump on my stairs when he was staying at the house. Yeah.
Well, Jim, a lot of talents were released, with this big change here in WWE. Any advice that you would get, because, it's not like back in the day when you would, okay, WWE's over, I'll go to another territory. There's not a lot of options left anymore.
Well,
What kind of
there's
advice
more
would you
now than
give
there
to
was
these?
for a long time, brother. For
That,
a long time, WWF was the only game in town, and then when they took over for a long time. Yeah, but you can make a decent living on the indies. But now at least you have the other company down there,
AEW.
AEW. Yeah,
Yep.
but guy. But I was just talking to a promoter for Big Time Wrestling. The young guys are pretty much prima donnas. They come in and they come off TV. And of course, you're coming off TV. It's hard to judge your value on an indie show.
Right.
You got to remember they're going to fly you in, they're going to put you in a hotel, and they're running a high school gym. So big payoff's not going to be there.
Right. And
But put a bunch of anybody you can make a living doing. Yeah, I enjoy the indies. The indies have been good to me. I have fun. And it's great for the fans. The fans have never been, because you sit closer to the ring. It's cheaper. You get to meet the guys, and you get to pick the kids that are going to move up.
I know that like Matt Cardona, for example, like he got released by WWE, I think in 2020, and I think he's actually making more money now than he was in WWE. So
yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, Matt's quite the businessman too. He'd be, no matter what business he's in, that would be doing good. But in wrestling, he's really excelling.